struggling or have a question with something, there's tons of resources to reach out through the NVMA, through the AVMA, so just having a better handle on where those resources exist and how to get help.
Power of 10 really has equipped me to be the best version of myself as a veterinarian. So there's not one specific thing I'm taking away, but I learned a lot about personal development, interpersonal skills, financial management, legalities. The list could go on, but it's really been a very empowering program.
The one thing that I can say that I take away from every one of them is just a feeling of inspiration. We get to listen to these speakers who have done amazing things with their careers and have, like, all of them have had this drive to contribute very uniquely to the profession and help give back and make the path easier for us that are just starting out. And I would say consistently I've been inspired.
What I would take away the most from the Power of 10 is the relationships that I created with the people in the group. I think that's the thing that's going to last the most.
I think the biggest thing that I'll take away from my participation is the relationships. So I've actually been doing this 3 years since I'm a facilitator, and so the fact that I've gained these relationships with, veterinarians with huge range and scopes of practice is great, and everyone's going through maybe something a little different, maybe something very, very similar, and so we can really, digest and kind of get down into like what helped them, what maybe I did and helped, and knowing that we're not alone with what we're going through. Everyone has the same struggles, and kind of building a tribe almost, I guess, outside of vet school that you can kind of rely on.
The Power of 10, one of the great things was meeting veterinarians from different parts of the state that practice different kinds of medicine that I wouldn't have necessarily met or known, and so the friendships that can develop from that.
I think it gives a lot of skills that aren't taught in veterinary school. So after you've sort of figured out how to practice as a veterinarian and what medicine is like, it's very beneficial to learn some of these other skills that help you be the best vet you can be.
I mean, obviously you get access to amazing speakers. I really enjoy the camaraderie. So meeting other veterinarians that are in similar places in their careers, all coming from unique backgrounds. Everyone has something to bring to the table. It might be something strange that you don't ever think about, like, oh, well, I'm a single mom, or, I went through vet school with this route, or I took my career this direction, or this is what I wanted to do, and now I'm doing something else. Like, there's all unique things, and but we all have the same goal in doing the Power of 10, where we want to learn more and we want to do more. And so I think for me, the reason why I would recommend this is it's a forum where you can be in a small, intimate group of people that all have very similar goals as far as improving what they can bring to the table.
I definitely would recommend the Power of 10. It's I think it's a necessity almost of the things that we discuss in this day and age. It's very timely topics that we discuss, and not necessarily things that we get in school. And just because we're covering so much in school, and so some stuff gets thrown to the wayside, but the Power of 10, I think, is good with coming back and kind of focusing on those things.
Power of 10, to recommend it to somebody, it's been great. You learn so much about both yourself, what we can do as veterinarians, how we can change things to better both our practices and our personal lives. It's just been a big help, and so with that, the Power 10 can just really help with those struggles, especially as a newer veterinarian, and you're really trying to get your feet on the ground and learning the things that they don't teach you in vet school.
I think the NVMA really, I didn't understand how much it does for veterinarians on a daily basis, and so participating in the Power of 10 made me understand how useful the NVMA is and how hard it works for veterinarians.
Yeah, I've just realized how much the NVMA does and how much work Dina and the board puts into trying to equip veterinarians and give them resources just to be successful.
But in participating in this, I'm seeing aspects of the NVMA that I didn't really know existed. When we talk about different opportunities available, the ways that we're going about trying to fix problems, like even just putting together this type of program, like this is kind of above and beyond what I think most people think of when they think of their state veterinary associations.
It's opened up my eyes to how much the NVMA does for veterinarians in Nebraska. So from this, it kind of segued into, I became a district director for the NVMA, and so then I was attending the board meetings. And I was just wowed by how much stuff the NVMA does. Like, you get the emails and you don't really like click and connect to like what it actually means. And so going to the board meetings has really like opened my eyes and honestly opened my eyes to how many different hats that Dina wears and how amazing she is. So
NVMA is very important and important to my career as we go forward. I mean, obviously we know the things that they do as a whole for us, you know, whether it's looking at legislature going through and making sure they're advocating for us as veterinarians, but it's also a great way, you know, as simple as continuing education, like learning what's coming up, having something simple without having to go out to a conference out of state, but also, again, like it's building a relationship with all these other members, and whether it's someone that's much older and is more in a mentorship position versus, you know, similarly based. And Dina's great. I mean, she's a great resource, and you learn that once you get to know her, that she has a lot of answers that maybe you were looking for and didn't know where to find.
I really like learning about having a social media presence, how to work with Google and Facebook, so that's something that is really important day to day.
I loved learning more about the business side of veterinary medicine. It's not something I've been good at before, but being able to break down what the numbers look like and should look like and how to run a successful business has been really helpful for me.
My favorite is probably actually the one we had yesterday, which was, you know, talking about business, like the things that you can do or change, like realms of leadership, and then also, you know, the legal side. There are a lot of things that are very useful to know that are not very widely spoken of. You know, it's kind of, I feel like a lot of the things we talked about yesterday, I mean, a lot of practice owners will get to those points, but they do it by trial and error. And so this was really nice that it kind of gave a layout of a way to guide you to that.
I'd say my favorite session is the personality testing, just because it opens up like an entire, so many more things to discuss and consider about you personally, how you interact with other people, and kind of trying to understand where other people are coming from.
Favorite sessions are hard. I love the personality stuff, so I'm kind of a nerd about that. I love knowing how like my color may interact. Well, colors is what we talk in right now, and so how my personality may be overwhelming for somebody, or how do I communicate with them, and how do I make them understand where I'm coming from, just because we may have a little bit different view on life. So that's been great. I also really like the social media stuff, the stuff that we did just today actually, because that's a personal interest of mine. So, you know, using these avenues to drive business forward and into our, you know, people are using it, so you might as well take advantage.